What's happening, Brody?
Back at it again. You heard me. Hold on.
Choking on
Pray
the nerds.
Lord, my soul will keep. I'm about to drink this drink. My soul will weep. Damn. And this is 93 proof.
93. This is not even 100. I think the 100 is
It goes down smoother.
way more smoother than this. I mean, shout out to Uncle Nearest, but I definitely prefer the 100 proof,
Yeah.
which is
Right there.
1856. I appreciate the
And what's that one? 1884. Whew. Sheesh. That got my ear burning. Golly, hold
Just
on.
a little bit.
A lot?
Got pop your ear.
Nope. Woo. So you ready to start?
No, yeah. It's been a hell of a week, bro. Been a hell of a
What
week.
you mean?
I don't even know. I'm just talking shit at this point. Well, what happened this week? Did something happen this week? Something crazy? Oh, yeah. Went to court for the whole visitation custody battle
Oh yeah.
with the woman who raised me. Yeah. That's a shit show.
You want to get into it a little bit or not?
I mean, I
Because
can.
somebody out there might be going through something similar.
You right. Pretty much, what y'all probably have heard throughout all the podcasts.
Yeah, 1
you
through
know,
7. Mm-hmm.
I wasn't raised by my biological parents, so the woman who raised me, we kind of disconnected once we moved into this house, and I wasn't liking the way she was treating my kids because blended family. STS wifey came in with 3 kids. I came in with 1.
Yeah, I remember saying that you had extra luggage and shit.
Exactly. So with that, she was treating my son that came from me way better than she was treating my other kids, and I didn't like that. And growing up, being forced to be a single child, although I do have a sister and a brother, I didn't grow up with them.
I didn't know that part.
Yeah.
I thought y'all all was in the same household.
Nope.
So it's basically almost like foster kids and shit.
Pretty much, because the woman who raised me did work in social
But
services.
she didn't want to take all of y'all in? All of y'all in or whatever?
No, so the way she got me, she kind of snuck and
She
got
got you
me.
with some Cheerios and shit, Frosted Flakes.
No,
Here, eat
my
this.
dad was in the Navy, and he was getting ready to be deployed. I was born. He's out in Cali. My mom, out of the grace of her heart, was like, I'll let you care for him a little bit, help me out. I know y'all can't have kids. You're the godmom. You can help me out.
It's just a...
And as soon as that happened, she never gave me back. When my dad came back and they were trying to get me back,
But she didn't have any parental rights or anything.
No.
Well, you said she did work for the system, so
Exactly.
she could have been doing some
And
shite. Don't come for me, or whatever her name is. Don't come for me.
allegedly, which I think is true, my uncle, who was the woman who raised me's husband, who was my blood uncle, he got my dad drunk as hell and had him sign some papers for me.
Your uncle did?
Yep.
So you think it was her that put him up to it?
No, I think they were both involved in it because they both shiesty people.
But you said that's your real uncle.
Yes,
but
my real
that's
uncle.
She's
She
by marriage.
By marriage, yes.
Okay.
Aunt by marriage. Took me in and raised me. Not saying that I had bad living conditions because I was raised in the suburbs, nice 2-story home, but the environment itself, it wasn't conducive to
Just because
myself.
you live in a great
Exactly.
home don't mean
I wasn't being
everything's
raised by my biological mother. So, person who's never had kids, never raised a child, was raising me.
and just because you have a child don't mean not to raise a kid.
Exactly. So,
And again, don't come for me, whatever your name is.
when I had my son, it was pretty much me all over again. And when we moved into this house, it was the final straw when She tried to come for my second
I was
oldest
waiting for you to like laugh
for $50.
because I've been joking the whole time, and every time I said a joke,
I didn't
you had a
laugh.
straight face.
I mean, because
I'm trying to make the whole light of the situation.
I know.
Because I give her these hands.
But no,
Don't come for me though. No, I'm
She
joking.
as soon as I cut off all communication and I told her through a nice, respectful text message, if you can't accept all of my children,
You can't accept.
one. And after that, I received papers to go to court, and we've
It's
been
like
dealing with this.
Like that's her. That ain't even. You know what? I ain't.
And she went for grandparent rights, which in Virginia, I've learned grandparent rights are non-existent, for one. And for two, any and everybody in Virginia can file for custody, visitation, any of that for a child that does not belong to them if they feel that the conditions that the child are living in are not good. So if I
the only conditions I see that's not good is this alcohol behind us.
if I wanted to come and petition for visitation for your children,
Take them.
No,
Let's
dead
hit
serious.
glasses.
I could do that.
Do that shit on Monday. Shit. Take them.
But since I denied all access and everything, got served paperwork to
And the
go to
judge
court.
denied that, right?
The judge denied it, but in the
Always a
state of
but.
Virginia, you're allowed to appeal. So guess what she did?
Appeal.
She appealed,
And that was.
2022, and we're still going through this.
But I'm saying. She appealed that.
Yeah,
What
so
happened with that?
we're still in it. That's what I'm saying. After that appeal, I went ahead and got a lawyer.
Yeah, but I'm saying you went to court last week.
Yeah, so
That's
that-
from the appeal, right?
Yeah, it got continued.
Again?
Yes,
So that's
because-
why I got my property tax in and shit, because of you.
Yes,
Fucking keep going to court and I'm paying all these fucking taxes.
I
for you.
appreciate you.
Now I'm coming for her.
No, so
The fuck?
we're still in it. My son, one of my sons, the son who they're trying
to
get visitation over, he's done with it. He said, I've been to court too many times. Because they keep petitioning him to court to see him to create a false narrative.
But hold on. How old is he? He's 11, right?
He's 11.
I don't know how old you got to be. Well, he's old enough to know from right from wrong and all that shit. He can go to court and be like, look at a judge and tell him,
He said
I
that
don't
to
feel
me.
comfortable going over there.
He said that. He said he never wants to see or speak to her again.
And these judges or whatever need to listen to these kids.
So the judge only continued it because the GAL asked for continuance so he can actually
What
do
is that, a
his
guardian
job.
of light?
Guardian ad litem. And it's they operate solely in the best interest of the child.
Yeah, that's a lie.
Facts.
That is a lie.
That is a big lie. They operate.
They operate for that person. You know what?
Yeah.
So
but-
being that you was in that household, in the episode we're talking about today, what kind of
she forced
school
me to
you
go
went
to private school.
She forced you to go to private school.
She would not let me go to public school, and she said it's because God told her it wasn't my time yet. Which, let's break real quick.
God ain't know. He ain't know about no damn private schools. What the?
But let's start this John off right. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yo, it's your
Faith.
boy STS Art Junky, straight from the gutter. You heard?
You heard, and it's your boy STS3 guy. You feel me?
You starting to get a little bit louder, yo.
I got to, but I'm still subtle with it.
I think once this court stuff is over,
I'ma
you
go back to-
you're gonna get yourself back.
My subtleness back.
No, you ain't gonna have no subtleness, is what I'm saying.
Oh, honestly, I think this going through court and having to go through all the steps that my parents weren't able to do, because what she's doing to me, she did to my parents. My parents didn't have the backing. They didn't have no family support for real, and they didn't know who to contact.
It's crazy.
So me going through this is me pretty much living out what my parents
They were supposed to do.
was supposed to do, but they weren't able to. So this is really breaking generational curses. Because had I not fought for my son, had I not wanted him, cycle would have continued.
Or it would have been a different situation.
It would have been 10 times
'Cause
worse.
It wouldn't have been just visitation. It would have been, I'm going for custody.
That's
and
facts.
You wouldn't have had your son.
That's facts, because I'm
And
pretty
he wouldn't
sure
have been
she
eating all the
would've-
food that I couldn't finish.
she would have put him in private
fuck?
school and all that stuff like me, and that's just a form of control. Because my parents, my dad especially, lived right up the street from me. When I was growing up, I never knew. When I tell you,
hold the phone.
Never knew. And when I was younger,
She's
she was
got
like,
bad intentions, bro.
she was like, you can't go past the window where I can't see you. Because had I gone down the street like I wanted to,
You would have sold your dad.
I would have saw my dad, my sister, my brother, all that.
Did your brother and sister know? They didn't know either, though.
My sister, she knew, but she didn't know. She was the catalyst that actually helped push me into this direction to find out who I really was. Because she was like, I'm your sister. I thought she was my cousin at first. I thought my biological mother.
I looked in the camera like you just looked in.
No, dead serious. I thought that was my cousin. I thought my biological mother was my aunt.
So she's like one of those people, like somebody has a baby in the hospital and she's walking through and she takes the baby and she leaves with the baby. That's basically.
She took me at 3
you're
months
a fucking
old.
Lifetime movie, yo.
She took me at 3 months old, bro.
A Lifetime movie, bro.
So I didn't know that she wasn't my real mom until my real mom came into my Nana's house and told me I'm your real mother.
That's some Lifetime movie shit, bro.
And at that point, the confusion started, the questions started, and I asked her, I said, so, who's my real mom? She told me, but then she also embellished hard on this story. Said that my mom was a crack addict, drug addict, had all these different diseases, don't let her touch you, kiss you, none of that stuff. She's been in prison. She's gay. Yes, my mother's gay. My biological mother's gay.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Not at all.
Hold on. I'm looking both cameras.
But as a child, you don't know those things.
You don't know those things.
You listen to the person who's taking care of you. So she put me in private school. I was in private school all my life. Even the college I went to was a private school. And I wanted to go to public school. My sister went to Salem, which was right up the street from my house where I lived. You know where Salem is.
Yeah, so this was all happening in Salem?
In the Indian River, Lynn Haven area, yep.
That's crazy.
So my sister lived right up the block from me, never knew. So I grew up an only child.
She's old. She's a lot older than you, right?
By 4 years.
Because I was going to say, y'all didn't walk past each other in school or nothing, but she's...
I never went to Salem.
Oh, yeah, you went to private school.
Yeah, so I went to private school.
You missed out a lot in private school, though.
Like,
you would have probably learned how to run away in public school.
No, I almost ran away in private school. When I was in
I'm talking about
school,
really run away.
And I almost did it. But
no, I mean, you would have ran to the edge of the school and then went home.
No,
I'm talking about, you would have went to public school, you would have actually...
skedaddled.
You would have got a bag and you would have left.
And and I think that's what the issue was. So when I did try to run away in private school, I went out the door, started walking down the street, and then I realized I don't have anything to take with me. Ooh. I don't have no clothes, no toys.
The only clothes you had, did you wear uniforms?
Yes.
You ain't never seen a bum out with a damn uniform.
Exactly.
You would have had a uniform on. I'm telling you, if you would have went to public school,
I probably would have known.
You would have got a pillowcase. You would have put all your stuff in there, and you would have been gone. Because you want to know what? You would have had that influence in that public school to be like all your friends, like you can stay at my house. You would have been gone.
Exactly.
Did you go to a private school that everybody almost looked like you?
Yes, I went. So my private school was the first, and no longer.
There's no longer this private school?
No, they shut down like a few years after I graduated.
Ooh.
So I can't even get a class ring anymore if I wanted to. The school don't exist.
Why would you want a class ring?
Because, I mean, it was certain things that I like to have. Like my class ring was dope, but that's for another topic.
Yeah, because I had all the technology there.
We did
everything.
No, I'm thankful for the experience at the school, but it was not good at all. I know other private schools may be different, but the private school that I went to,
your private school didn't get funded by is it the state?
I don't think private schools would be funded by the state, would they?
Oh no, they get funded by people's pockets.
Exactly, by boosters.
My bad. Public schools,
so
we get funded by the
school
state.
That I went to it seemed like to be funded by the church that it was associated
Catholic
with.
church?
No, Christian church.
Christian church. You a Christian?
I was raised a Christian, but I don't claim Christianity anymore because if you look in the dark histories of Christianity and what they're about, it's nothing but killing, stealing, and destroying. Which, if we're talking about the Bible, what
Hold
did
on.
they say about the devil?
Which camera are we looking at? Because you
Devil came
lost
to
me.
kill, steal, and destroy?
Damn.
Oh, okay.
You fuck, golly.
Hey.
Bitch, you gotta slow down.
You asking me these questions, bro.
And I'm trying. Look, I want the people to see both of our eyes. I need to know what camera we're looking at because you just. Damn.
Nah, so
Did you want to go to public school though?
yes, I wanted to go to public school because my dream, ever since I was younger, was to play football. I wanted to play football.
Y'all didn't have a football team there?
We had
Oh, you talking about soccer?
no
Oh, you want to play real football?
real football, like contact. Like I wanted to
so
be a
that's-
running back, a wide receiver, or a quarterback.
Ooh, that's why you played soccer.
No, I will get into that.
Yeah, in another episode, but yeah.
But my private school, we had
You could have played field hockey.
a baseball field with no baseball team or equipment. We had a under-regulated track. So you know how tracks are supposed to be 400 meters long? This was 300 meters long. You can laugh. It's okay. So our soccer field, when I did start playing soccer, I could stand at the back of the goal and throw it
Past the other goal.
to the other goal. You know how many times I scored a few times by punting that John from my side of the field into the goal.
So that's how you could have went pro?
No, I could have went pro because I was actually like that in sports.
All right, I'm just asking.
Like,
You got tape?
yes, I got tape.
All right, we'll look at that later.
We're gonna watch tape, but my private school was an all.
So you
black.
had a reject private school.
Yes. So anybody who came to our school was pretty much the people who got kicked out of public school.
Oh,
So what she tried to protect me
wait,
from.
so he went to Renaissance. Damn, bro. You went to Renaissance. Over which duck? Bitch, you ain't go to no private school.
It was a private school,
Bitch, we
bro.
went to Renaissance.
Nah, so anybody who got kicked
What
out
was
of public
Renaissance
school.
called before that?
Fuck. Look it up.
It was called something before Renaissance, bro.
But nah, it wasn't. This was a brand new school.
Damn.
Brand new school.
Where was it located at though? Well, Virginia Beach.
Off
but
of East Little Creek. Nah,
Oh,
I went to
you were in
private
North-
school.
so you
I
had
was
to-
in Norfolk. So I had to commute, bro.
they dropped you off there?
So before, yes, I was getting dropped off there, but then they got a school bus, which they could never keep up because they got the school buses from
Bro,
prisons.
you went to prisons.
Yeah. They got.
So they had the flat front.
No. They didn't have the flat front.
You know what I'm talking about, though.
Yeah, it wasn't the flat fronts.
So y'all was riding on prison buses that they had Joe Smo on a week
Pretty
before.
much. Yeah. And then they painted it, put the thing up
But
there.
you know what? Now that we're talking about this, I was on Instagram the other day, and it was like a side by side of prison system and a school.
Look exactly the same.
It looks exactly the same.
The food trays, the
The seating,
classrooms.
yeah,
Yeah,
all of it
everything.
looks the same, bro.
That's because schools were built by the same people who built prisons.
It's crazy.
And I didn't think of that growing up. I didn't think of, like, I hated school growing up. School wasn't for me. It was boring. Maybe I wasn't challenged.
I like
enough.
the experience, but I
Because you went to public school, right?
I went to public school, like all my life. I'm not sounding down because I went because I loved it.
sound like-
Because,
it sound
no,
like you-
because the experience. When I went to school, I liked the experience.
Exactly.
I was a smart kid, but it was like, you know how you're smart and you really don't apply yourself.
You get way more life experience going to public school, in my opinion.
Yeah, me too.
And that's because, and I said that multiple times. I said I need to go to public school because how are you going to prep me for college in this small private school where I know everybody, I've seen everybody, and I went to a small private college as well where I knew everybody.
Well,
and seen
that's
everybody.
but that's the only thing you knew though.
I was forced to go to college. Like my plans were to go to Virginia Tech so I can get the fuck out of Dodge. Honestly, I could have went to Norfolk State because I got accepted there. I could have went to ODU. I got accepted there, but I wanted to get away, but not too far away because she still had a hold on me. So my thought process was, let me go to this D2 school. Let me get on the soccer team, and then transfer out to go D1 because I wanted to go to Tech. Virginia Tech was my dream school to play football in, but since that was taken away from me, I was like, maybe soccer. I could have went pro because I got invited to play overseas, but that was denied. She told me no, I need to focus on school. in a private school that wasn't challenging me.
I don't care what. Look, don't ever let nobody stop you from pursuing your dreams. I don't care who it is.
Yeah, but
I'm dead ass serious.
No, I agree with you. And that's why we're doing what we're doing now.
Yeah, I wish I would tell my kids if they got an opportunity to go overseas or just go anywhere to play professional to make money and do something that they love. I'm not gonna stop them to do that. That's crazy.
But you're not trying to hide your kids from the world.
Nah, hell nah.
No Drake
They hide themselves. The fuck?
But not only that, but you're not trying to control them to the point where you need to have that ultimate control over them and what they do.
It's something that's going on with her inside. So.
Oh yeah.
So that's another conversation for another time.
But I know we had conversations off screen that you kind of wish that you went to private school a little bit.
So it was nothing wrong with public schools. Like I said, I was a smart kid. I didn't apply myself how I wanted to, but it was just my dad was real strict on that level.
Gotcha.
To where I played sports too. So I played football in school. So you got to keep a good.
Could you have went pro?
I was good enough.
Yeah.
Everybody knew I was good enough. I think if I was a little bit taller, and I'm not knocking because there's people my height that played in the NFL.
Darren Sproles.
But I'm just saying, maybe if I'd have had that college experience and they're on different regiments and bulky and all that shit.
Yeah.
Maybe. But
he low-key built like Darren Sproles.
I wish I would have went to a private school because I think I would have not no reject private school like you. I'm talking about like a private school to
like
where
Norfolk Academy
or it used to be called Bishop Sullivan or like
Bishop Sullivan.
Those private schools where they're basically out there recruiting kids because you're good enough to do what you're doing.
Kind of like an Ivy League school type thing, but high school level.
Yeah, but we weren't struggling, like I said. So I think my dad would have, because you still got to pay to go to those schools. I don't care if they're like
private schools.
Yeah,
yes.
But I'm like, you know how you can come here, you'll get a scholarship. No, you still got to pay something. Yeah. So I don't think my dad would have. My dad was stingy with his money, so I don't think he would have been like, yeah, well, I know you love playing football.
Yeah.
I'm going to pay for you to go here now.
Okay.
But maybe I think it could have, broadened my horizons, like open up doors.
Going to one of those
private schools.
There are way better private schools out there, which I don't understand why she chose that one to send me to. But, because there are private schools out there that have different type of learning curriculum and everything.
Yeah, they look out for kids. But public school, I love that my kids are in public school because there's a big diversity.
Yes. Because we only, and sorry to cut you off, we only had one Caucasian kid in that school.
And he's probably the dean's kid. No, I'm joking.
Nah, everybody that was staffed, every student, black. We had one white teacher, Caucasian teacher, English teacher. He crashed out, so he didn't come back. Well, we had two. One English and one history.
Like, what's that movie, Dangerous Minds? But that was a public school. But
yeah.
I don't know. There's pros and cons to it.
I see all kinds with private school, especially the private school that I went to. Because when I tell you, it was gangbangers, thugs, all that. And I'm not just saying that because they were black.
Yeah, you got that in public schools
Real
too.
life Bloods and Crips that got kicked out of public school had no other choice.
Man, we need to find a yearbook. You went to Renaissance, bro.
Bro, I'm telling you, man.
You went to Renaissance, bro.
And honestly, that the type of environment that
you said it was off Little Creek?
Yeah, off East Little Creek Road. It was in between a Shoney's and a strip club. So serious. Shoney's and a strip club.
Shoney's used to be near Shore Drive, right?
It was what was
it near the base?
You know where Sonic is? It's up the street from the base. You know where that Sonic is on East Little Creek?
Yes.
And where that Hardee's is? And there's like a Catholic church right behind it.
Oh, you went, it's across the street from the Hardee's?
So the Hardee's is the new aviation school. So it's the Hardee's.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Strip club, my school.
That man was going to bank. The what is what's that shit called? You used to go there for The bank, yeah. Nah, no, it's farther down, but it's the new aviation school. So that's your old private school?
Yep. So
Whoa.
and a few of my peers went to the strip club during school hours.
Yeah, because the strip clubs was across the street from that.
When I tell you the track, you can run on the track and just strip club.
Bro, we need to take a tour over there. I want to see this track. That's crazy, bro. That's crazy. Well, that whole area over there is changing now. But
Yeah, of course, because they're trying to make it more palatable to live.
yeah, too late.
Way too.
That's
late.
crazy. But nah, being in the public school, you got a lot of diversity. You might, if you've lived in that community with your peers, you might grow up with them, and see the same people. But there's always people coming in, and going out. With a private school, you're gonna see the same people,
and
every year.
Brian, my best friend who passed,
Did he go to that school too?
we were in the same school from 5th grade till we graduated, and then that's when he went to Elizabeth City State, and I went to Chowan. But I knew him from 5th grade.
That's crazy.
Same class, same person, same school every single year.
Now you might get that.
No,
with some public schools.
but not only that, the owner's kid, the person who owned the church and the school, all his kids went there. So of course I went to school with all of his kids.
Y'all all graduated.
They all graduated.
Damn.
How
big was
damn?
How big was your class?
So because my private school was so small,
30 people.
20. And we had the largest graduating class.
So y'all graduation probably lasted an hour.
I think so, after the prayers and all
Man,
that.
public school, I had like 200 and something.
We had a graduation in the church.
Bro.
The church.
I was in what is it called? The pavilion?
Yeah, so
Down at the beach.
because y'all had to have a
Yeah, but we had like
area.
200 some people.
So tell me about public school, because the only thing that I know about public school is what my sister kind of told me, because she went to Salem, high school.
The Sun Devils.
Graduated from there, and she almost I was set up to go there. She talked to the guidance counselor, all that
What,
stuff.
to go to Salem?
They were expecting me to
She's
come.
trying to get you out of Renaissance?
She was trying to. I was set up to go there for my high school career, but like I said, the woman who
You
raised
said
me-
my high school career.
No, dead
like it's a
ass.
damn like my
That's what it felt like. It felt like a damn career. So
oh shit, Salem.
that's why I said in the beginning of the pod that she was like, I was like, yo, did you get me? You know, we need to go ahead and get me registered for school and all that stuff. Mind you, this is me in 9th grade telling an adult everything that she needs to do to get me into this school. And the first thing she said, God hasn't laid it on my heart yet to put you in.
She was never really gonna let you go
At
to
all.
that school.
And I met every single stipulation that she had. She said, have a great year, pass all your classes, have a great
come on,
GPA.
man. She feeding you all that fucking bullshit.
Oh, yeah.
She wants to hear.
Tell me about some experiences that you had in public schools that pretty much transformed you or formed you into the person that you are today.
Transform me, man. When I say straight from the gutter. Nah, but the experience I had was just a big diversity of people.
Okay.
It's not just one culture or race.
So what was the dress code like?
You can wear whatever you want. You can wear whatever you want. They still have rules in place.
Yeah.
Like the girls, they can't wear them little ass skirts. They got to be able to touch their
Fingertips.
Yeah, fingertips.
Yeah.
The boys. I don't really think we had a dress code like that. Like, well, you can't sag, but motherfuckers sagged anyway. Like,
Okay. Did you sag?
nah, I like to wear clothes that fit. Well, okay. When I first got in high school or middle school, whatever you want to call it,
Your ass off.
I had the big jeans, the big 3X t-shirts, and you see how fucking small I am.
Okay.
My shit was, I look like a fucking Dipset fucking boy. Like,
I was about to say, you thought you was DMX?
I thought I was something, and not me. but everybody looked like me,
Yeah.
but just different race or culture, whatever you want to say.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? It was just a big melting pot, yo. Like being in a public school was just, it felt like you had your freedom.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I know at one point they were saying that we would have to wear uniforms at one point, but it never went through.
Which is crazy that you say that because the year before I got to the school that I went to, there was no uniforms. But then as soon as I got there, that's when they started uniform policy, had to wear white shirts, black shirts, navy blue shirts, yellow shirts.
That's crazy. I'd have had all the shirts with
did.
all the nice sneakers.
Like we could wear sweaters. Like I had sweater vests.
Oh, bitch. He had a fucking cardigan and all that shit. It looked like Carlton. So it was basically like Will Smith and the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and shit.
Almost.
Damn.
But like you could wear any shoe that you wanted to except sneakers. So you could wear Timbs. But see, I had the soft leather Timbs. Like you know the soft Timbs with the fat tongue.
You had Uggs, my guy.
They weren't Uggs, bro.
But you had Uggs.
I didn't have the real Timbs. Let's just say that.
You had lugs. You had to keep my name.
I did. I did have a pair of lugs, bro. Bird. Oh.
You had the Birdman Uggs with the metal plate on the side. Oh my god, bro. Nah, but public school, it felt like you had a lot of freedom. Cause I think, to me, I don't know, looking from the outside in, private school is almost structured like a military type of vibe. You know what I'm saying?
But we didn't even have ROTC, which is crazy.
I was in ROTC when I was in high school.
But and that's another thing, like with the type of public schools that you talk about, that my kids are in, that your kids are in, it seems like it's set up for them to actually succeed in life more so than private schools. Because of the diversity, because of all the opportunities that come that way.
It's a lot of opportunities, but at the same time, it's almost a struggle, though.
Why is that?
Because I feel that there's not enough resources in that public school no, I'm just saying, like, because it's funding and all that stuff as well. And then, nowadays they're trying to take the history.
They've been trying to take the history
But
out.
I'm saying, like, I don't know. It's hard to say. It's just I don't feel the kids are learning enough, like the stuff that they should be learning.
They're not, and that's why I always tell my kids, don't just take what you get from school as face value. Like take it at face value. Do your own research.
I've always been that kid that I'll learn enough to get by.
Okay.
But I graduated with a 3.5. I don't understand how I was getting enough to get by. But
so you weren't a big fan of school?
I wasn't.
Okay.
I just did enough to play sports. And just to get by.
So would that bring up the argument that you probably went to the wrong school?
No, I wouldn't say that. I mean, just
because it sounds like
any school I would have went to, it would have been the same.
Are you sure?
Hell yeah.
Because I'm learning this now, mainly from my sister who has my niece, my nephew right now. But I'm sure
he's in private school.
He's in private school, but this private school is not the private school that I went to, and not even the private schools that
he went to a real private school. You went to Renaissance, and if you know, Renaissance is
no. So this private school that he's in, it's not just the same people that look like him. They come.
It's a diversity.
It's very diverse.
Okay,
but they have a curriculum where it's not structured how we grew up, not even how our kids are being taught right now.
Okay.
They have like an open structure type thing where they're learning stuff that they shouldn't even be learning.
So I wonder,
in our opinion,
with a public school, this is the curriculum that y'all all need to go by, and this is what you teach.
Yes.
In a private school, I'm guessing
same way.
It is like that?
Same way.
I thought it'll be like, well, I could teach what I want to teach in the guidelines of my subject.
Nah, because like I said, the history teacher that we had went straight from the book. Every teacher that we had was by the book, for the book, stay in the book. There was nothing that was outside of the book at all.
That's crazy. That's how my gym teacher was.
Well, I mean, that's...
Sorry, I'm joking.
You have to... What?
Yo, did y'all have gym now?
We had PE in it.
So y'all wore a uniform for gym? Like your slacks and fucking button-up shirt.
That was the only time we could dress out.
Oh, I thought nah, that's a lie.
I'm
I've
so
seen a
serious.
lot of private schools on movies, so the movies be lying because them motherfuckers be out in recess with their fucking khakis on, with their button-up shirt.
No, so if you don't have a uniform, that's what you wear.
Oh, okay.
Well, I mean, if you don't have dress out wear.
I remember in junior high school, middle school, that's what they call it down here. It like you had to purchase a gym uniform, and you had to put your name in a square.
Yep, they do that here.
So motherfuckers steal your shit, you know they stole that shit.
Exactly. So I didn't experience that because we had to bring our own shorts, our own.
Damn, that sucked. We had to pay what? Like,
change
it was
out.
almost, I think, like
It's what,
$10 or $20. $10
$10, $20? Because
to
the kids,
$20. 10 for the shirt, 10 for the
middle
shorts.
high school the same way. Luckily, our kids
That was sweet though.
haven't grown too much. So
You
they,
see motherfuckers stinking asses, dookie draws, changing it into fucking the fucking gym uniform.
Nah, the locker room was crazy, bro.
But you see people with just a shirt on. Where your shorts at? My dad used to, after like I graduated, my dad used to wear my PE shorts.
For real?
Hell yeah, he was all up in them shits. I'm like, damn, bro.
Free balling, eh?
Free balling on the couch like that. Joe, those my shorts.
Put your sack up, Dad. Is
Those my shorts. Yeah, man.
that where you get it from?
My dad. I got a lot of my traits from my dad. You know what I'm saying? Except for the bald head. He went bald by choice.
Oh, and you know that's why I tell my kids too. I was like, I'm bald. I'm forced being bald.
I'm forced to go bald. My dad was. It was a choice. But yeah.
So I can tell you a few things that. So my private school.
Did y'all have good food? What your trays look like?
No,
Did y'all eat in class?
no.
Did y'all pray before? Did y'all
Yes.
pray? Y'all had to pray?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not with that.
Like after everybody got their food, one person goes up to the mic.
Oh,
Praise
y'all had a
over the
mic
food. So
in the cafeteria?
Our cafeteria was a cafetorium.
So it was basically an auditorium, a gymnasium.
No, no gymnasium. The gymnasium.
Oh, I was about to go ham with all the asiums.
We had a separate gym, so it was the elementary school,
but
the
isn't
gym, and the middle and high school all
but
connected.
isn't elementary school is almost like that? They got the auditorium and the
Yes.
cafeteria together, right?
Yes,
Then when you get to middle school, you actually got an auditorium.
exactly.
Damn, yo, I know my junior high school, that auditorium was big as shit.
So
Yo, it
where
looked like
we
a
had
theater.
lunches where we had plays and all that stuff.
So y'all was watching Shakespeare while you eating your chicken nuggets and shit. That's crazy.
They did have rehearsal, and that's one thing. That's one thing that I can say in private school that they tried, but we were supposed to have a band that didn't.
Y'all didn't
fall
have a
through.
band?
Nope, that didn't fall through.
You know what? I don't know. Like private school and public school might be a lot different.
I think the private school that I went to, I think my private school.
You
was very
went to
one-off.
a jail, like you went to a prison.
Because when I found out about Norfolk Academy and all these other private
Yeah,
schools,
I've never heard of.
I'm like, they have a football team? How come we don't have a football
Bro,
team?
I've never heard of bad kids going to a. They're dropping them off at a private school.
Yeah, bro.
I've never.
You wanna
heard
know
of
why?
that.
Money.
Drug money.
No, the parents were good. It was the kids that were bad.
They had to fund it some way.
And I was bad as hell in school, man.
And you wanted to go to a public school.
Because I was bored. So I,
I
had
know
nothing to do.
When I was going to high school and I was like, public high school, and the girls would get pregnant, they would send them. I think Princess Anne had like a program for pregnant girls.
They were getting pregnant that much in Princess Anne, bro?
No, in like the school, like I guess whatever school you went to and you got pregnant, they had like a program for them.
Wow.
So motherfuckers be like, well, then where's such and such? Well, she got pregnant. Yeah, she ain't here no more. She went like it was crazy, but I don't know. I like public school, man. Like it's more freedom. It's just a cultural shock. Like
Yeah. I agree.
the diversity, the
So I
atmosphere.
guess I can't speak on all private schools being bad.
Yours wasn't a private school.
Mine was a...
No. You didn't go to no private school. You was in a prison reform, educational. You know how motherfuckers was about to get you were transitioning out of a prison.
Well, I mean...
You probably still owe them motherfuckers.
That falls in line with what we were talking about earlier.
Yeah,
how prisons and schools are built by the same people.
You were in a prison reform school.
Because if you look at, like you said earlier, even the high school that the boys go to now, you see that too? I saw that, I was like, it looks like a prison on the outside. When you walk in, it looks like a prison.
Yeah.
And if you, like you said, because I seen the same thing or I seen something similar, you put a prison and the school side by side, the lunch trays, yard time,
Yeah, everything.
schooling, all that.
You was in a fucking prison reform school, bro. They dropping off bad kids in the public. I mean, a private school. I've never heard of that shit before.
Yeah, bro.
And you was off Little Creek Road next to fucking, what is that fucking, that stripper club? Gentlemen's?
It was right next to it. That's what
Now it's next to a car wash and shit, right across the street, because they put a car wash over there. It's near the Walgreens and shit. I know what you're talking about. What is that? City Trends? All of that shit. I know. And then it's a trailer park right behind there.
Yeah,
and it's an old ass what is it? Like it's an old ass hotel that they converted to like fucking almost apartments and shit, right?
So
yeah,
it's an abortion
that's
clinic.
Abortion clinic.
That's
crazy.
word, bro.
They got abortion clinic the whole damn.
So
no, but if you look now, damn. I'm sorry.
no, you good.
Damn, abortion clinic. That's crazy.
So would you send your kids to a private school?
No, because I'm not paying $20,000 a year for my kids to eat baked chicken and ziti when they could eat dry ass.
And $20,000 is just for the tuition. That's not.
Yes, that's crazy.
You get
then
a
you gotta
meal
pay
plan, transportation.
I could use that $20,000 on something else. No, I'm not sending my kids there. Now, if they got like if they were playing like Zayden, I only have one kid that's playing sports right now.
Okay.
If he was to get an offer to go to a private school and they'd be like, yeah, we'll pay your tuition, this and this and that.
Oh, you have to pay.
I'm not just going to send him there. I'm going to ask him, like, do you want to do this?
What if he says yes?
It's up to him. Yeah, we'll send you there.
Okay.
But
not off rip. You're not just saying,
yeah, I'm not off like, oh, yeah, you're going.
let me find you a private school.
I didn't like, and he plays basketball for Lakeland. Shout out to Lakeland High School. And we were in the stands one time, and a lady was like, yeah, your son is good. He's great, but he needs better coaching and all that stuff, and he needs to come to Kings Fort. Was it Kings Fort? Yeah, Kings Fort. Their coaching and everything is a lot better. So we get in the car. We're like, hey, you ever think about going to, because that's where we thought he was going to go at first when we first moved out to Suffolk.
Okay.
Kings Fort. And we got disappointed and he's in Lakeland. But it was like, hey, Zay, you want to go to Kings Fort, you know, the coaching and stuff? He's like, nah, I want to stay at Lakeland. All right, that's the end of the conversation.
But why?
Because he wants to be where he's established at where he's at.
Yeah.
It's like, it was a big change to move from Virginia Beach to here.
Okay.
Like, as soon as we moved out here, it was like, all right, we're about to put you in the schools out here. And they're like, nah, we don't want to do that. The oldest wanted to graduate from where he was at. So we kept him in Virginia Beach schools until
it was time.
It was time to switch him over. So it's like we always ask our kids what they want to do.
Okay.
And that was a conversation. Like,
which I think is dope.
Yeah, like, do you want to go to Kings Fort? Nah, I want to stay at Lakeland. But well, your team is booty.
Because we did that with our oldest.
You don't care.
And I was coming back. I was in the truck with him yesterday because we went to go shout out to Holy Tristan. He's a barber. He does do house
and
calls.
He didn't win the giveaway yesterday either. So
he didn't. But
sucks for you.
On our way back, he was like, "Man, I can't wait to get out of Suffolk." I said, "You know we in Suffolk because of you, right?" He was like, "What do you mean?" Because we asked him, "Do you want to stay in Suffolk to stay in school, or did you want to go elsewhere?" I want to stay in Suffolk. This is all my friends. Okay,
that's all they gotta say though.
As soon as we moved into this crib, I want to move to Hampton. I want to move to Newport News.
Does he know anybody in Newport News and Hampton?
He was born and raised for 9 years in Newport News. Newport News.
Oh, bet you don't know one street in Newport News.
But that's the thing. It's like you ain't been there since you was 9. Things have changed drastically.
I don't know, man. At the end of the day,
bad news.
At the end of the day, private schools, it could be for some people, but it's not for me.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's for my kids because they've been in public schools all their life. So, but we've never had. Okay, we had maybe a couple instances because of public schools, but
That you thought about switching to private school?
no, hell nah. I still wouldn't switch. I told you I'm not paying that tuition. We'd be living in the school because we'd be fucking broke. What the fuck?
Which is insane how much these schools cost, because you weren't lying about that $20K, and
Bruh.
that's per year.
Yeah, we bitch about the fucking lunch we gotta pay them. Like, if you're not getting free lunch,
Yeah.
we not paying no what $2?
$2.50, yeah,
Bitch, we
$2.50.
complaining about that.
Which now lunch is free everywhere.
They passed the law.
Yeah.
Shit, I'm about to go to school and eat lunch for free.
feel me?
Shit.
Yeah, I was about to say, babe,
Breakfast too?
Stop making them sandwiches.
What was breakfast like? 60 cent, 40 cent. Lunch was like $1.20 and shit.
Well, ours was paid through tuition,
There's these private school motherfuckers,
and if we wanted something extra, we had to pay.
and y'all had the money to do it.
And there was
Anyways,
Nah, hey,
we had like
hey.
a lunch line. Like, they would serve like the gourmet
Oh, you had
subs
gourmet.
and shit. Yeah, like the subs and shit. Like, if you didn't
Okay.
have money, you would eat your free lunch and shit. Guess where I was? I was in that gourmet line.
I know you were.
Hell yeah.
And
'Cause
look, and that's funny that you say that, because there was a few times where I had extra money so I could take the bus home.
wait, hold the fuck up.
So
Pause.
when the school knew
You had to
Norfolk,
you
right?
had to pay to get the. Wait, you talking about the city
HRT.
bus?
HRT. So I would get dropped off. I would get dropped off at the YMCA off of Indian River,
You had to
next
ride the bus
interstate.
home and shit.
It was either stay at the YMCA until I got picked up, or I could walk home. And I used to work at the YMCA, so if I wasn't working, I'm like, I'm just gonna go
Boys
home.
and Girls Club.
Take the transit to the crib. I already know how to ride it. There was some days I had to walk because I spent my money on extra food.
Nobody told you to get that sub with that
It wasn't
tomatoes
so-
and shit.
It was the pizza. It was pizza day, bruh. I would be like,
That
let me
dri-
I'm gonna get an extra pizza, bruh.
Look, I used to work at Pizza Hut back in the day, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it used to be pizza on Tuesdays.
Okay.
That dry ass Pizza Hut pizza.
Y'all had Pizza Hut pizza?
Yeah, we had, bro. I'd rather
We
have.
didn't get Pizza Hut pizza, bro.
It was
so I
Pizza
don't
Hut
wanna hear
pizza,
that.
but it
I don't
was
want to hear that.
it was almost the Pizza Hut pizza that like
The
was,
personal pan?
No, it was a real pizza, but the
You
shit was
complaining
dry.
about Pizza Hut pizza when your boy over here had to have the goddamn breakfast pizzas for lunch.
Bro, I'm from New York. We used to have that breakfast pizza.
Them shit's good.
We used to have the breakfast pizza,
That was in New York, so that don't count. You not in New York.
bro.
You here.
Tuesdays was Pizza Hut. That dry ass pizza.
But you ate it.
2-day-old pizza.
You ate it.
I ate it when I ain't go through that gourmet line. But I started eating lunch outside of school or like going in the gourmet line because my freshman year of high school, I went to go eat a chicken patty and I bit into a chicken patty that wasn't cooked.
Ooh. How do you not cook a chicken patty?
So after that, I've never ate lunch after that in school.
Which,
Unless it was gourmet.
I will say this. So they did try to become more modern. They let us eat outside on the track field. On the track.
Your whole school was out there on the track field, bitch. That's small ass
Pretty
shit.
much, right? They would let us go across the street to get Chinese or order out, and somebody would have to go get it.
That's crazy, though, man. Like, if you had a car
Oh yeah.
and you leave during lunch and come back,
We're not gonna talk about that because, boy, I tell you, I didn't get my first car until college.
did people have cars while you were in your private school? Okay.
Yeah, so they were allowed to have cars.
I hope so.
Drive to and from school.
Like, why wouldn't you be allowed to have a car? Is that something with a private school?
I mean, because some schools, because they try to say that they were what's that word that I'm looking for? The phrase college ready school. So you know how some schools they won't let freshmen or certain
if
age.
you're a freshman, you have to stay in the dorm. You couldn't drive, I don't think.
Some schools you
Some
can.
schools you can't.
But some schools you can't. But this one, I guess if you were a junior or senior,
You can drive.
you can drive to and from school.
But what? Oh, so even if you had, because I'm old, than you.
Yeah.
You see how I put that? Oh, there were sophomores going in junior year with their permit getting their license.
That was old enough, yeah.
What if you had your license when you were a sophomore? You still couldn't drive unless you were a junior?
Well, I'm honestly not sure because I never got to that.
You never experienced that because
I wasn't fortunate enough.
You was riding that HRT.
No, I was. The HRT wasn't until I got back to Virginia Beach.
Oh.
So I wasn't transiting from Norfolk to Virginia Beach.
You was getting dropped off.
Yeah, so they had a bus. It would drop us off by the YMCA.
Where's the YMCA? In Norfolk?
No, in Virginia Beach. Off of Indian River Road, right next to the interstate. Where the Captain D's used to be, but now it's a cookout.
Oh.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That YMCA that's in the cut.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
There's a Waffle House.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they would drop us off right over there.
It's a church over there too. Yeah.
Across the street. So they would drop us off over there, and if your parents were there, they would pick you up. Me, I either went to the YMCA or walked home.
I had to get my cap and gown from over in that shopping center.
They have cap and gowns over there?
Well, I guess it was like, what's that shit called? Life Touch or some shit?
They didn't have that over there.
They had, like, I had to go get my cap and gown. It was like a place where I had to go get my, like, pick up my cap and gown.
Down on Indian River, but I don't think it was right there.
Nah, it was right in, like, cause there's a cookout. They built a car wash place.
Yeah, Regent University is right across the street.
It's that little shopping center, like in the back where that 7-Eleven is at, behind there.
Yeah.
That was back in the day. It might not be there now.
Okay.
Yeah,
like,
but
well, I mean, when you say back in the day, because I've been going to that YMCA since I was like a kid, like a baby.
Bruh, how old are you?
33.
I'm 42 almost.
So that's a 9-year difference. I was going to the
Bro, I was out of high school when you was.
What year did you graduate? What year? Wait.
02.
Oh yeah, I was still in elementary.
Bruh, you barely
in middle school by then.
You barely could tie your shoes.
Man, I could tie my shoes, cause.
Bruh, I'm going to my 20-year anniversary reunion. You fucking.
We don't even have reunions, bro.
What? Yeah, because they're still building the dead. They're gonna tell y'all to come to your reunion and build a track and field. Fucking.
We would throw our own reunions and we would go to Hooters. And it's mainly because of Brian. He would let's go to Hooters.
I was about to say what? Isn't
Not
me? I know.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
But yeah, Hooters was fun.
Yeah, the kids like going to Hooters.
Yeah.
For the chicken wings.
Sure, yeah, because they don't have ass no more at Hooters.
Bro, when I was growing up, I heard that they had, side note, let me say that, in order for them to get hired, their nose, they had to put they had to face the wall and their nose couldn't touch the wall. Yeah.
I mean, I think they still doing that because if you go into Hooters, they'll
have
have that, but they won't have shit in the back.
So we need to make a Hooters where you can't work there unless you have ass.
Like your shoulders
can't touch the wall.
Can't touch the wall.
Because goddamn, they shit.
Got drywall ass up in
but
there.
But they chicken wings banging though.
No, they not.
I like their curly fries though with that cheese.
Hooters is ass.
Nah, they chicken wings alright.
No, they're not.
I know. I don't normally get the chicken wings
people really went to Hooters for the Hooters and the ass.
We're gonna back up because there's no ass
anymore. It used to be.
What Hooters you went to?
The one in Norfolk.
Nah, you talking about it for fucking Janeth?
Yeah.
Hell nah, bro.
Bruh.
Hell nah. They got ass now?
Not now. I said back then.
When the last time we went to Hooters?
It's been a few years.
When Jeremy and what's his name was here?
I'm talking about when I was like 12, 13. That's when they had ass.
Remember when we went to Hooters that time with Renee and all them? They ain't have no ass. They ain't had no ass, bro. You wonder who had ass? My wife got ass. They don't got ass. Now they got boobs.
That's what I'm saying. That's all they had.
But it was a white man that invented Hooters because ain't no fucking way.
Had to be.
What's a black owned spot there?
I don't think they have a black.
Nah, they ain't got no. They got fucking flat ass wall, bro. You said your shoulders can't touch the fucking wall. I don't know. But
So
we have different visions on. Well, I wouldn't say different.
No, because I think, unfortunately, which people will always say that we agree too much, but
You want to know who's saying that? Our significant others.
yeah.
But I'll say
But I think we have a different view because
You went to private school and I went to public.
But not only that, but I now understand what a real private school looks like and what a real private school can do for you.
You was in jail. Yeah.
Yeah. Like what I see in private schools now is networking. Because the type of money that's in private schools, you're gonna be hanging with those type of people.
Yeah.
Which will open a lot more doors not only for you but for your kids.
Now there's people in there in a public school as well, but it's like they're being overshadowed by everybody else.
Exactly.
But,
Which, I mean, shout out to everybody who works in the school system, all the teachers, the principals.
They need more pay.
All of that, because we know y'all job isn't easy, because
They basically more of a parent than we are, because they're more. Nah, but they do need to be paid more. I used to give my teachers a hard time.
the good teachers need to be paid more. The teachers that are actually there,
just
not
showing
to
up,
collect a check, that's
Yeah.
actually trying to invest into these kids. Yes, they need to be paid more.
Yeah.
But shout out to all of our
Shoutouts.
shotters.
I reloaded the.
Oh, you reloaded the mag?
Yeah.
I'm playing.
Ooh. Damn, man. Who you
Surgical
shoot
with that
at?
shit, Jake.
Ooh.
But nah, shout out to all of our shotters. We appreciate y'all, and we thank y'all for rocking with us constantly. Make sure you guys like, comment.
Subscribe. Hit that post notification button, because if you ain't taking, it ain't shaking.
It ain't
and shout out to the giveaway winner.
Yes.
Yesterday.
Naturally Sweet won our giveaway in the raffle. We appreciate y'all for entering into the raffle. Big shout out to Blazing Peace, who was our 150th follower on the dot. He will be receiving something special too.
Yeah, so by the time this video comes out, they should already have their merch.
They
So
should have it.
It'll be a little bit late, but they'll have their merch. But shout out to
definitely.
them though.
Yeah,
And we'll
shout
be
out to
doing
them.
more giveaways.
But
Merch coming soon.
yes, merch coming soon. I know y'all see it. I know y'all want it. It's coming. All right. We had to play with some designs a little bit to make sure.
These shit's about to be famous.
Facts.
These about to be famous, yo.
And when y'all get this, please repost. Tell a friend, subscribe, all of that, so we can all keep shooting this.
Yo, that's a fucking dope ass fucking name, yo.
You know?
You need to put some sound effects like right near my ear when you do that. That old 1964 Cadillac.
Oh, that's a Cadillac. I thought you was talking about
a silencer. You ain't gonna hear that shit.
Pew.
You sound like you playing Duck Hunt.
Could be. Pew. How you do it?
Our guns don't sound like that yet. Nah, but hey,
Mama.
another episode in the books.
Yes, great episode.
And it's your boy, STS Art Junky, straight from the gutter.
I'm 3 God.
I always point at you.
It's STS 3 God. You feel me?
Look, his beard's talking for him. That shit greasy as fuck. And we out. Peace.
Y'all are clowns.
Oh shit.
We gotta be, man.
This episode was. I like this episode. I like all our episodes, man. You know what?